Right-wing provocateur Milo Yiannopolous, I'd never know how to pronounce his last name, to return to Australia after his last tour sparked violent protests, and this time he'll have some very controversial company. Now guys, I am actually joined in the Discord by Satellite of Discontent. Say hello.
G'day everyone. It's been a few days.
Yes, he's been very lazy lately. Yeah, what we're going to do is basically... Sorry?
Very sleepy.
Very sleepy. He's been sleepy. But yeah, we'll go through. We'll do a whole bunch of stories. So there's going to be like another 4 stories that go up today. So retweet because probably YouTube won't notify you. But let's start with this story. So, right-wing provocateur Milo Yiannopolous has returned to Australia later this year with right-wing mouthpiece Ann Coulter after his last tour sparked violent protests. The pair will arrive in Queensland in late November ahead of the events on the Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth. A website selling tickets to the event says that the topics covered by the speakers will include gender fluidity in schools, multiculturalism, South African genocide. Oof, he's literally doing some of the stuff that Lauren was doing. This tour includes speaking dates, which tickets ranging from prices from $79 to general admission to $449 for VIP tickets. Now, there's also VIP yacht cruises, tickets available on the Gold Coast and Sydney for $189. The website says these tickets include a private 1.5 hour mingling with Milo and Anne. The news follows on from Canadian right-wing speaker Lauren Southern's recent tour of Australia. Coulter is a former New York City lawyer who has become a prominent conservative social and political commentator. She has written 12 best-selling books, including Ados, America, The Left Plans to Turn Our Country into a Third World Hellhole, has been outspoken Clinton critic and Trump supporter. In June this year, following outrage over the family separation policy of Trump administration and dealing with the border jumps, she said that migrant children were child actors weeping and crying and Trump should not fall for it. Oh, it's very hard to read stories when they put Lauren in them, but anyway. Yiannopolous gained infamy as a conservative writer for the alt-right website Breitbart News. Breitbart's alt-right? What? We'll get to that in a sec. During his Sydney show last December, Yiannopolous attracted more than 100 protesters who channeled F-Nazi in violent scenes that led to 7 arrests. His Melbourne leg of the tour was even more violent, with police forced to use batons to keep demonstrators at bay. You don't mention who the demonstrators were, do you? That's interesting. By the way, they were Antifa, anyone's wondering. Last week it was revealed that Milo Yiannopolous and his promoters are yet to pay $50,000 bill and were asked to cough it up for extra police resources at the Melbourne event. Milo has told them to, in the infamous words of Bart Simpson, go get bent. He hasn't paid it, Victoria Police Minister Lisa Neville told 3AW Radio. He was presented with the bill and hasn't yet paid it. I know there's discussions going on at the moment over our government solicitors. Sorry. All right, before we jump into the rest of it, what's your thoughts on Milo coming back to Australia?
Let's bring Milo Yiannopolous back.
Yeah.
Especially after the shake-up that's gone on. We just need to keep the pressure up. The media has been losing their minds. I've been loving, like, the last few weeks, how just everything is so crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And now, let's bring them two over here, and let's just keep this just party going. I love it.
I'm just wondering. Well, I'm just wondering, is this enough? Or should we have...
No, it's never enough.
Well, this is what I was going to say. So, is Milo and Anne enough to make the left lose their shit? Or should we start bringing them over in mass? Yeah, just
let's get Ann Coulter over here too.
Well, Anne is coming. So Ann Coulter is definitely coming. Oh. But I was going to say, can you imagine Stefan Molyneux, Lauren Southern, Milo Yiannopolous, Ann Coulter... Sorry?
Yiannopolous.
Whatever his name is, like geez, whatever. But like, just get like a whole group of them, like 4 or 5 of them, to do one speaking tour together. That would just be insane. That really would be insane. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is two on tour enough, or do we need more people on a certain tour just to really trigger them? You know, like really make
Alex
them.
Jones.
Oh yeah, Alex, Gavin McInnes. We know Gavin. Spoiler alert, people. Apparently, Gavin McInnes is coming to Australia too. I was going to say, you know, do we get Gavin McInnes, the Proud Boys, Lauren Southern? She said something about coming back. Stefan Molyneux, you know, Milo. We can get Ann Coulter, Alex Jones, Paul Joseph Watson, Sargon. Let's just get like this huge free speech rally going, and just watch them just absolute melt. It's just, yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm. Do you reckon he's going to sell tickets though? Like, it's only been a year.
Maybe not as many. I don't know.
Like the Australian. I was going to say the last Australian tour he did, the Gold Coast one, that they couldn't sell all the tickets because the arena was just huge. I think they said the arena that up on the Gold Coast they had actually sold close to 5,500 tickets, and I've actually got footage because well, I went up there, as you know, and I, oh geez, dude, I tell you what, they had that thing up at around 70, 80, 85% capacity. It was packed, and that's what, you know, Milo was saying. We can't sell these tickets that. They just keep making the event bigger and bigger. So, yeah, they just kept piling them in. And, yeah, the Gold Coast was, like, compared to, like, Sydney and Melbourne and something like that, I think their venues only held, like, 500 to 1,000. But, yeah, no, the Gold Coast one was, yeah, it was huge. So, nice. But that's what I worry about. I worry, you know, it's only been a year. Is he going to have different talking points? Well, obviously, from this, it sounds like he is. But yeah, because I was going to say he didn't cover any of this stuff when he was here last. But I was going to say, but you know, it's going to be a field day. Just literally watching the left just melt in the sun. It's just, yeah. But anyway, let's keep going.
They're going to be like, I reckon they're going to be like vampires in True Blood.
Yeah,
basically
like,
just light up on fire and they'll just,
yeah. Anyway, the promoter of last year's tour, Damon Kotos, might be mispronouncing, previously argued his people had nothing to do with the violence and said he would refuse to cover the costs. This is the political grandstanding that's absolutely nonsense, he told the Daily Mail Australia in December. My answer to politicians that like to get political mileage out of something, in this case, police minister, my answer to her is to, quite simply, sue me. Hundreds of people were sent into control, up to 500 left-wing and up to 50 right-wing activists outside the event. The 50 right-wing activists were just there to see the event. The 50 left-wing protesters were the ones being violent. But anyway. 5 officers were pelted with bullets. 5 officers were pelted with bottles and rocks, and 2 protesters, one from each side, were arrested during the violent scenes. Which is funny because I actually heard it was the left that started the violence. But anyway, Milo slammed the violent left-wing protesters for causing the trouble that required heavy police presence. There was a lot of kerfuffle out front, he told Alan Jones on 2GB radio at the time. That's our Alan Jones, not Alex Jones. It was not the newspaper report, a clash between far left and far right. It was the left showing up, being violent and stopping freedom of speech. Which is a really good point, because at the end of the day, the fact is, if the left hadn't turned up, nothing would have happened. I was actually up at the Gold Coast one for Milo last time. We had no left-wing protesters. None of them turned up. And guess what? There was absolutely no violence.
It was peaceful?
Yep. No violence whatsoever. It's like when the left turned up, it got violent. I don't know why. Funny that, isn't it? Anyway, the left really shows us who they are. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Nothing.
Okay, cool. The left really show us who they are. They attack police. They attack other people. They attack journalists. They showed us who the pubescent babies. They showed us they were pubescent babies. Sorry. Last year, Milo controversially mocked Aboriginal art and the didgeridoo. The Australians, in this bizarre form of mid-class guilt, we have decided to pay a basic to the culture that failed to invent the wheel and whose signature music achievement is a big stick, he said. Which is funny because I thought Milo likes big sticks. But anyway, he had his show in Perth, Sydney, Melbourne. He also flashed up the word unsomethingable on the screen. Next to an image of Australian feminist and writer Clementine Ford. He also did it on the Gold Coast one too, by the way.
Yeah, he also said that it was she had a clover hoof in her teeth.
Yeah, well, yeah. No comment on that because people are apparently flagging YouTube videos now. If you haven't seen my earlier video, Twitter went wild with commendation. Particularly, the photo apparently showed Miss Ford when she was about 19 years old. Milo's speech on university campus in the US had previously sparked violent protests. Once again, from the Antifa left. But anyway, he was banned from Twitter in 2016 after being blamed for a barrage of racist abuse directed by his fans towards Ghostbuster star Leslie Jones. Because apparently Milo has some mind control over his fans now. But anyway, he has previously linked feminism to cancer, Islam to AIDS, and has spoken out against gay rights and the Black Lives Matter movement, despite being openly homosexual and married to an African American man. Yeah, well, those two aren't mutually exclusive, to be honest. Black Lives Matter really is cancer, to be honest. But anyway, Milo Yiannopolous lost a book deal after the video emerged in February 2016, in which he said some relationship between older men and teenage boys could be beneficial, despite the fact that he's actually a victim of pedophilia. But anyway, generally overall, look, Daily Mail did a less of a hit job than other people. I'm not going to say it's a good article, but I tell you what, it's better than I expected it to be. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, it's not a bad article. Just a bit of a devil's advocate here, though, about him also being a victim of that. The thing is, though, he did not name the person who did the abuse to him.
Sure.
He protects it to this day, and I personally disagree with that.
Yeah,
he should name the abuser.
Yeah, well, it depends. It could be a family friend or someone like that too. So yeah,
that's no excuse. I'm sorry, no excuse.
True. All right. As for Milo, look, I'm excited to have him back in Australia just to see the left absolutely melt.
Yeah.
I imagine I'm going to be on radio a lot more talking about Alex. Well, not Alex now. Milo, sorry, and Ann Coulter. I'm guessing I'm going to be doing interviews on radios trying to claim that they're not alt-right. Which, amazingly, in this video, they actually don't actually say he's alt-right. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah. Well, that's right. You just read it out. That's interesting.
Really wish they wouldn't put photos of Lauren in these videos because it really makes it hard for me to concentrate. But yeah, apart from that, dude, I'll send you a copy of the photo they put of her. Like, oh goddamn. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, yeah, I actually think this is a fairly somewhat okay article. Look, it's not going to be flattery. It's not going to be great. At least they didn't call him alt-right. They admitted that he is gay. They didn't say that he was racist. So they did a fairly good job. As for Milo, look, yeah, I reckon people that didn't go and see him last time will probably go and see him. I'll go and see him just because I love going to this sort of shit and it's fun. And also, I'll make a video on it, so there's that. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you reckon he's going to sell tickets, or do you reckon people are going to be like, well, you're only here a year ago. What's changed?
Yeah, if he makes it a point that he's talking about new things,
Yeah,
then he'll probably sell as many tickets as before.
if not more.
Being that, if not more, because
Mm.
hopefully the awakening, the red pilling, is wider now.
Yeah, well, we've just literally had Lauren here, and yeah,
Yeah.
Stefan did actually make reference to Milo. He said he had a friend who came to Australia last year who, quote, likes to use the word darling, and he did that whole Milo darling thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the
The
day,
other thing,
mm,
we have seen the media, however, learn something from the last time with
mm,
Milo. This is what they did with Stefan and Lauren. So they send some nobody to interview them, and then get them on the show, and then they lie about them. And they don't have them directly on the show. They have somebody who interviewed them,
yeah,
and then they can just spin the narrative. So I think this
yeah.
time we might not see Milo directly on national TV.
No, which is obviously, guys. Look, obviously, I'm going to try and hit Milo and Coulter up for an interview. I didn't have any luck speaking to Lauren or Stefan as an interviewee. I did speak to them. I did spend time talking to them, but not as an interviewee. So I was going to say I'm definitely going to try and hit Milo up. So obviously, guys, subscribe to the channel if you like this video. But guys, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think that Milo will be just as popular, if not as before? Do you think more people have been red pilled, for lack of a better word? Or at the end of the day, do you think people are going to sit there and say, well, we've only seen you last year, you're coming back again? Look, it sounds like he's talking about different things, so I'm definitely interested. Plus, it's fun watching the left freak out, so that's why I want to go. But guys, let me know your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new, channel welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.